Oh, I get grumpy about usability issues. So guess what's ticking me off right now? It doesn't focus, gosh dang it. I click add thing, start typing. I wanted to type my thing. What else do I want to do after clicking add thing? Let's make that happen. Let's just wish, maybe that'll work, that putting autofocus on content editable will do the trick. Now this is JSX, not HTML, so let's camel case that. Well, it was worth a shot. So we're going to have to do something else. We're going to have to actually grab the real DOM node that this thing creates and focus that. Now to do that, we have to make sure that we wait until it has been added to the DOM. So we're going to need a lifecycle method. Looking at our React documentation, this is the page about React.component on the official React docs. The component lifecycle. Each component has several lifecycle methods that you can override to run code at particular times in the process. Methods prefixed with will are called right before something happens, and methods prefixed with did are called right after something happens. After what happens? Mounting. These methods are called when an instance of a component is being created and insert into the DOM. So component will mount would run right before it's added to the DOM. Component did mount will be added right after. Updating. These things run when props or state change. Unmounting when it's being removed from the DOM. So what we want should happen right after it gets added to the DOM. So that is component did mount. Now, I've got some bad news for you, folks. You can only use the lifecycle functions in real components, full-blown components, not functional stateless components. Notice the way it phrased this. Each component has these methods that you can override. So we need to be inheriting from React component, which means we need to turn this functional stateless component into a full-blown component. Yes, like a jerk, I made you do it this way before we go back and change it to the other way. But that's how we learn. So what do? First of all, just change the word const to class. We don't have an argument list anymore, so bye-bye thing, save thing, and remove thing. This arrow goes away. All right. So now this function that we made in here becomes a method, which means we don't put const in front of it. We can, however, still use equal because that's a property initializer. And we can't just return because thing is no longer a function, it's a class, right? So where does return need to be? Where are we returning this JSX? Inside render, right? So let's add the render method. Add our closing curly brace, indent this stuff. And please do indent things properly. Remember, the person that has to look through your old code and try to figure out where things are may be you. So be kind to your future self and make it easy to read. Very good. Starting to look pretty classy. That is, like a class. Oh, let's go ahead and import component from React. Say class thing extends component. I bet something's going to explode. Yep. Thing is not defined on line 9. All right, let's just take this one method at a time. Let's start with update name. What does it have? Thing and save thing, neither of which are defined. Those came from props, right? So we could replace them with this.props, .thing.name. That's an awful lot of dots for one line. I think I'd like to keep it so that we have local variables with that name, because it also gives us another excuse to show this trick. A destructuring assignment. So just as we had bracket, thing, save thing in the argument list, we can do it here like this. Const, those two names in bracket, equal this.props. And what it'll do is it will get just those two things out of this.props. Very much like when we're importing named exports. Save. No longer complains about those. Now we have line 21, 22, 24, and 24. Thing, update name, thing, remove thing. So thing, update thing, and remove thing are not defined in render. Well, thing and save thing. We don't need save thing, but we need thing. It's going to look a lot like this. Inside render before the return statement. Which ones do we need? We need thing. We need remove thing. That's a prop. And update name we don't have. Not a prop though, right? It's right here. It's a method on our class. So we just need to replace onChange equals update name with onChange equals this dot update name. And everything's back to normal. See if things still work. Yep. Well, wait, 3 Claytons? Now we're getting out of control. Yeah, delete still works. Hooray. We did it. So let's convert thing to a class.